In a world that celebrates noise, that rewards the flash of social media presence, that seems to value style over substance. There's a different path, a quieter path, a path that leads to massive, sustainable success. I was consulting for a major technology company in Silicon Valley. Everyone was talking about this one executive. His name is Michael. He wasn't the CEO. He wasn't even in the C-suite, but he had transformed entire divisions of the company, launched successful products that generated billions in revenue, and built teams that consistently outperformed every metric. Most people outside his immediate circle had barely heard of him. No viral LinkedIn posts, no TED Talks, no magazine covers, just consistent, focused, deliberate action day after day, year after year. This pattern kept showing up everywhere I looked. The most successful investor in my network, he spent his time reading annual reports while others were debating hot stock tips on social media. The most successful entrepreneur I knew, she was too busy perfecting her product and serving her customers to worry about building a personal brand. True success has a different rhythm. It's not about the noise you make. It's about the impact you create. It's not about who knows your name. It's about who benefits from your work. It's not about instant gratification. It's about sustained excellence. Today, I'm going to share with you the principles I've uncovered from studying hundreds of these quiet achievers. These insights will transform how you think about success and, more importantly, how you pursue it. The loudest success stories we see today are often the ones least worth following. Now, that's a bold statement, isn't it? But stay with me because this understanding could save you years of misdirected effort. We live in what I call the Instagram era of success. Everyone showing their highlight reel, the fancy car, the beachfront office, the motivational quotes against sunset backgrounds. It's seductive. It's exciting. And it's often completely misleading. How many times have you seen someone posting about their massive success one day, only to disappear completely the next? I call this the supernova effect. They shine incredibly bright, but they burn out just as quickly. The more someone needs to tell you about their success, the more likely it is that they're struggling to maintain it. Real success, the kind that lasts, the kind that matters, doesn't need constant advertising. What happens when we chase visibility over value? We start making decisions based on how they'll look rather than how they'll work. We prioritize short-term validation over long-term viability. It's like building a house by starting with the paint color instead of the foundation. The cost? It's astronomical. Not just in terms of money, though that's significant. The real cost comes in three forms. First is the energy cost. Every moment you spend crafting the perfect post about your success is a moment you're not actually creating that success. Every hour spent managing your image is an hour not spent managing your business. Second, there's the focus cost. When you're constantly thinking about how something will look, you lose the ability to see it for what it is. Your decision-making becomes clouded, your priorities shift, and your effectiveness diminishes. Finally, there's the authenticity cost. The more you try to match the highlight reels you see online, the further you drift from your authentic path to success. And here's the truth. The market, your customers, your colleagues, they can smell inauthenticity from a mile away. The most successful people I know are often the hardest to find online. They're not posting about their morning routine or sharing their secrets to success. They're too busy actually being successful. True success is like growing a mighty oak tree. It doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen in front of an audience. It happens quietly, consistently, root by root, branch by branch. While others are busy taking selfies with saplings, these quiet achievers are planting seeds and nurturing their growth with patience and precision. The reality is sustainable success isn't a performance, it's a process. And the sooner you understand this fundamental truth, the sooner you can begin your own journey toward lasting achievement. Something that's becoming increasingly rare in today's world, yet it's absolutely crucial for extraordinary achievement. I'm talking about deep work, the kind of focused, uninterrupted effort that produces breakthrough results. In my research of high achievers across every field imaginable, I've noticed something remarkable. The single most common trait among them isn't their IQ, their background, or their connections. It's their ability to engage in deep, concentrated work for extended periods. Let me explain what happens in your brain during deep work. When you focus intensely on a single task, your neural pathways actually begin to optimize. Scientists call this myelin strengthening. It's like laying down high-speed fiber optic cables in your brain instead of using old copper wires. Every time you engage in deep work, these pathways become stronger, faster, more efficient. This state of deep work does not just happen. You can't just sit down and decide to do this. It requires what I call the deep work triangle: environment, time, and training. Let me tell you a story. Her name is Luna. Luna was a mid-level manager when I first met her, struggling to make any significant progress in her career. Her typical day was a chaos of emails, meetings, and constant interruptions. Sound familiar? But then she made one crucial change. She started blocking out what she called her power hours, 2 hours every morning before anyone else arrived at the office. During these hours, she focused on just one significant project. No phone, no email, no distractions. Just pure, focused work on tasks that would move the needle. Within 6 months, she had completely redesigned her department's operational system, saving the company millions. Within a year, she was promoted to senior management. The power of deep work in action. How you can build this habit. First, start with time blocking. Choose your most productive hours. For most people, that's early morning, and protect them fiercely. This is your deep work sanctuary. Second, create your environment. Remove every possible distraction. Your phone should be in another room. Your email should be closed. Some of the most successful people I know even have a specific location they use only for deep work. Third, train your focus muscle. Start with 30 minutes of uninterrupted work, then gradually increase it to 45 minutes, then an hour, then 2. It's like building any other muscle. You need to progress gradually. Let me share another example. There's a software developer I know who built $1 million company working just 4 hours a day. Impossible. Not when you understand that these were 4 hours of pure, uninterrupted deep work. No social media, no casual browsing, no random conversations. Just focused, purposeful work on the highest value activities. The science is clear on this. Your brain can only perform at its peak for about 4 hours a day. But here's the key. Most people never even get close to using these 4 hours effectively. They're constantly switching tasks, constantly responding to notifications, constantly fragmenting their attention. When you switch tasks, it takes an average of 23 minutes to get back to the same level of focus you had before. 23 minutes. How many times a day do you switch tasks? How many hours are you losing? The quiet achievers understand this. They know that 1 hour of deep work is worth more than 3 hours of shallow, interrupted work. They protect their focus like others protect their money. Because in today's world, sustained attention is becoming the rarest and most valuable currency. Remember, deep work isn't just about working harder. It's about working smarter with absolute focus and clarity of purpose. It's about creating the conditions for excellence, then showing up consistently to do the work. Now let me share with you what I consider the foundation of lasting achievement, the 5 pillars of quiet success. These aren't just concepts. They're the load-bearing walls that support every great achievement I've ever studied. The first pillar is strategic thinking, and it's about seeing what others miss. Most people confuse being busy with being strategic. They're not the same thing. Strategic thinking is about asking yourself one crucial question every single day. Is what I'm doing right now moving me toward my ultimate goal? Let me tell you about a principle I call the chess master's mindset. A chess master doesn't just look at the next move. They visualize the entire game sequence. They see patterns, anticipate challenges, and plan multiple moves ahead. That's strategic thinking action. What the quiet achievers do differently. They spend time in what I call strategic silence. Every week, they step back from the noise, look at their goals, their actions, and the gap between them. They're constantly asking, what's the highest leverage move I can make right now? What opportunities am I not seeing? What risks am I not considering? Remember this, strategic thinking isn't a skill you're born with, it's a muscle you develop. Start by dedicating 30 minutes each morning to thinking about your long-term goals and aligning your daily actions with them. The second pillar is where most dreams go to die. Disciplined execution. Ideas are common. Execution is rare, and disciplined execution, that's as rare as diamonds. Success loves routine. It loves predictability. It loves showing up every single day, especially when you don't feel like it. I call this the professional's code, doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel about it. Every single day, you make about 35,000 decisions. But the most successful people I've studied, they've eliminated as many daily decisions as possible through systems and routines. They don't decide whether to work out, it's scheduled. They don't decide what to eat for breakfast, it's planned. They save their decision-making energy for what truly matters. The key to disciplined execution isn't willpower. It's systems. Create systems that make it easier to do the right thing than the wrong thing. Create systems that make success automatic. Because here's the truth, your future is being created by the systems you follow today. The third pillar is what separates those who achieve success from those who maintain it. Continuous learning. But let me be clear, I'm not talking about passive learning. I'm talking about strategic, applied learning that directly impacts your results. The most successful people I know treat learning like a contact sport. They don't just read books, they dissect them. They don't just attend seminars, they implement what they learn within 24 hours. They have what I call a learning loop. Learn, apply, evaluate, adjust. The average CEO reads 60 books per year. That's more than one book per week. But here's what's crucial. They're not reading for entertainment. They're reading with intention, with purpose, with a specific goal in mind. Every piece of information they consume is filtered through one question: how can I use this to remember? In today's world, what you know isn't nearly as important as how quickly you can learn. Your ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn is your most valuable asset. The fourth pillar might surprise you. It's relationship building, but not in the way most people think about it. I'm not talking about networking events or collecting business cards. I'm talking about what I call deep relationship capital. Your success will be directly proportional to the value you create for others. The quiet achievers understand this deeply. They don't build relationships to get something. They build relationships to give something. Let me share a principle I call the relationship bank account. Every interaction either makes a deposit or a withdrawal. The most successful people are constantly making deposits, adding value, solving problems, sharing insights, making introductions without expecting immediate returns. The most valuable opportunities in your life will likely come through someone you know. Not necessarily your closest friends, but often through what sociologists call weak ties. People you know who know people you need to know. The final pillar is personal excellence, and it's the foundation everything else rests upon. Because here's the truth. You can't build $1 million business with a 10-cent mindset. Personal excellence isn't about perfection. It's about progression. It's about being better today than you were yesterday. It's about what I call the excellence equation. Standards, consistency, time excellence. Excellence is a habit, not an act. It's in how you structure your day. It's in how you treat your body. It's in how you manage your energy. It's in the small decisions you make when nobody's watching. Excellence isn't something you do occasionally. It's something you are. It's the standard you hold yourself to, especially when it would be easier not to, because that's when it counts the most. These 5 pillars, working together, create an unstoppable force. They're the difference between temporary success and lasting achievement. They're the foundation that supports everything else you'll build in your journey to extraordinary success. What I call the daily success formula. This isn't just another routine. It's a proven system that the most successful people I've studied use to consistently produce extraordinary results. Let's start with what happens before most people even open their eyes. You see, the most successful people I know don't just start their day. They launch it. They have what I call a power hour, and it's absolutely transformative. What the power hour looks like. It starts the night before. The most successful people I've studied never begin their day in reaction mode. They don't wake up and immediately check their phone, responding to everyone else's priorities. Instead, they wake up with purpose, with intention, with a clear plan that was set the evening before. Let me break this down for you. The optimal morning routine consists of what I call the success trias: mind, body, and mission. The first 20 minutes are for mental preparation, meditation, visualization, or simply sitting in strategic silence. The next 20 minutes are for physical activation, exercise, stretching, or simply walking. The final 20 minutes are for reviewing your mission, your goals, your priorities, your action plans. But what's fascinating about time blocking, it's not just about scheduling your day, it's about scheduling your success. I've discovered that the most productive people use what I call the 90-90-90 rule. They work in 90-minute focused blocks, take 90-second micro breaks, and never schedule more than 9 of them. Your energy, not your time, is your most precious resource. A person with crystal clear priorities and high energy will accomplish more in 2 hours than most people accomplish in 2 days. I'd implement time blocking effectively. Start by identifying your peak performance periods, those times of day when you're naturally most focused and energetic. For most people, this is within the first few hours after waking. Block these times for your most important, most challenging work. No meetings, no calls, no interruptions. Priority management. Forget about traditional to-do lists. They don't work. Instead, use what I call the impact matrix. Every evening, ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, what one thing, if accomplished tomorrow, would have the greatest positive impact on my goals? 2, what 3 supporting activities would maximize the effectiveness of that one? 3, what potential obstacles might prevent me from accomplishing these priorities? This brings us to what might be the most overlooked aspect of daily success, the power of reflection. You see, experience isn't the best teacher. Evaluated experience is. That's why the most successful people I know end their day with what I call the success journal. How it works: every evening, spend just 15 minutes answering these questions. What were my wins today? What did I learn? What could I have done better? What will I do differently tomorrow? This simple practice creates what psychologists call a success feedback loop. You're not just having experiences, you're extracting wisdom from them. You're not just passing time, you're growing through time. Let me share something profound about this daily formula. It's not about perfection, it's about progression. The most successful people I know don't execute this perfectly every single day, but they execute it consistently enough to create what I call success momentum. Every day, you're either building momentum or losing it. There is no standing still. The daily success formula ensures you're always moving forward, always building momentum, always getting stronger. Your day is your life in miniature. How you handle your day is how you handle your life. Master your days, and you'll master your life. The quiet achievers understand this deeply. They know that massive success isn't built on occasional heroic efforts. It's built on daily disciplines consistently applied. Start implementing this formula tomorrow morning. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start where you are with what you have and watch how quickly your results begin to transform. The biggest battles you'll face on your path to success aren't out there in the marketplace. They're between your ears. Your inner game is everything. You know what separates the extraordinary achievers from the average? It's not talent. It's not resources. It's what I call adversity quotient. The ability to stay focused and determined when everything around you suggests giving up. Mental toughness isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop like a muscle. And just like a muscle, it grows through resistance, through pressure, through challenge. Every time you face a difficulty and push through it, you're not just solving a problem. You're strengthening your mental toughness muscle. I call this the Navy SEAL principle. You know what Navy SEALs say? Under pressure, you don't rise to the occasion, you sink to the level of your training. That's why mental toughness must be developed daily, not just when you need it. Emotional intelligence, because this is where the quiet achievers truly excel. They understand what I call the emotional success equation. Self-awareness as self-regulation, self-mastery. Your emotions are like weather patterns. You can't control them directly, but you can learn to navigate them skillfully. The most successful people I know have developed what I call emotional radar. They can detect their emotional states early and adjust their course before those emotions hijack their performance. Reframe, respond, respond. When you feel a negative emotion arising, first recognize it without judgment, then reframe it. Ask yourself, what's another way to look at the situation? Finally, choose your response based on your long-term goals, not your short-term emotions. Self-talk mastery, because this is absolutely crucial. The conversations you have with yourself are the most important conversations you'll ever have. I call this inner programming, and it's either working for you or against you. Your brain processes self-talk as instructions. When you say, this is too hard, your brain actually makes it harder. When you say, I can figure this out, your brain starts looking for solutions. That's why I teach what I call success language. A way of talking to yourself that programs your brain for achievement rather than failure. Now, about dealing with setbacks. This is where most people's dreams die. But what the quiet achievers understand, setbacks aren't stop signs. They're set up for comebacks. I call this the rubber ball principle. The harder you fall, the higher you bounce back. Let me share a powerful reframing technique. Whenever you face a setback, ask yourself these 3 questions. What's good about this situation? 2, what can I learn from this? 3, how can I use this to become stronger? Every setback carries the seed of an equal or greater comeback. The quiet achievers understand this deeply. They don't just bounce back from setbacks, they bounce forward. The key to mastering your inner game, consistency over intensity. It's not about making dramatic changes. It's about making small, consistent improvements in how you think, how you talk to yourself, and how you handle challenges. Your outer world will always be a reflection of your inner world. Master your inner game and your outer success becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Because when you develop unshakable mental toughness, emotional intelligence, and self-talk mastery, you become unstoppable. Success isn't an event, it's a system. And today, I'm going to show you how to build your own success system that works day after day, year after year. Let's start with creating sustainable habits, because this is where most people go wrong. They try to change everything at once. But here's what the quiet achievers understand. Sustainable success is built through what I call the micro-habit method. How it works? Instead of trying to build a large habit, break it down into its smallest possible component. Want to write a book? Start with writing 1 sentence a day. Want to build a business? Make 1 business building phone call a day. Want to get in shape? Do 1 push-up a day. Your mind can't resist these tiny commitments. They're too small to trigger resistance. But once you start, something magical happens, what I call the momentum effect. You rarely stop at 1 sentence, 1 call, or 1 push-up. Success rituals, this is where sustainable habits become unstoppable. A ritual is different from a habit. A habit is what you do. A ritual is how you do it. I call this the success sequence, a specific series of actions you perform in a specific order at a specific time. It's my morning success ritual, and I encourage you to adapt it for yourself. 1, wake up at the same time every day. 2, spend 10 minutes in strategic silence. 3, review your goals and priorities. 4, exercise for at least 20 minutes. 5, plan your day's big 3 tasks. Now, about measuring progress. This is crucial. You see, what gets measured gets improved. But here's the key. Don't just measure results. Measure activities. I call this the leading indicator method. Your bank account is a lagging indicator of your financial habits. Your weight is a lagging indicator of your health habits. Your relationships are a lagging indicators of your relationship habits. The quiet achievers understand this. They focus on measuring the daily activities that lead to the results they want. Create what I call a success scorecard. Track 3 things daily. 1, your key activities, the things you control. 2, your progress markers, the signs you're moving forward. 3, your result metrics, the outcomes you're seeking. What's really powerful about building a success system, it tells you when and how to adjust course. I call this strategic flexibility. Your system should include regular review points, daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly. During these reviews, ask yourself 3 questions. 1, what's working that I should do more of? 2, what's not working that I should stop doing? 3, what's missing that I should start doing? Your success system isn't set in stone. It's a living, breathing thing that grows and evolves with you. The quiet achievers understand this. They're constantly refining their systems, adjusting their approaches, and optimizing their methods. Every time you adjust your system, you're not starting over, you're starting from experience. Each adjustment makes your system more powerful, more personalized, and more effective. The beautiful thing about a well-designed success system, it makes success inevitable. And not easy, but inevitable. Because when you have the right systems in place, you don't have to rely on motivation or willpower. The system carries you forward. Start building your success system today. Start small, start simple, but start, because the sooner you build your system, the sooner your system will build your success. Let me share one of the most powerful success principles I've ever discovered. Something I call the compound effect of quiet actions. This principle has created more millionaires, more breakthrough achievements, and more lasting success than perhaps any other. We dramatically overestimate what we can achieve in a day, but dramatically underestimate what we can achieve in a year. The quiet achievers understand this deeply. They know that success isn't about home runs. It's about consistent singles day after day, week after week. Let me give you a powerful example. Imagine two people starting a business. The first person makes a big splash, heavy marketing, flashy launches, trying to create overnight success. The second person focuses on serving one customer exceptionally well, then another, then another. After a year, who do you think is more successful? I've seen this play out hundreds of times, and the quiet, consistent performer wins almost every time. What I call the 1% rule. If you improve just 1% each day, at the end of 1 year, you'll be 37 times better. Not 365% better, 37 times better. That's the power of compound improvement. Small, consistent actions, multiplied by time, create extraordinary results. Every major achievement in your life will be the result of small actions you took months or years before. The book you'll write will be the result of writing 500 words every day. The business you'll build will be the result of making 5 sales calls every day. The health you'll enjoy will be the result of small, daily choices about food and exercise. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. The quiet achievers understand this. They follow what I call the never miss twice rule. They know they'll occasionally miss a day, skip a workout, or fall short of their standards, but they never let themselves miss twice in a row. Now, about long-term thinking, this is where the magic happens. Most people think in terms of days or weeks. The extraordinary achievers think in terms of decades. They understand what I call time perspective. The ability to make decisions today based on their impact 5, 10, or 20 years from now. That's just build unstoppable momentum. Okay. I start with what I call success triggers. Use small, specific actions that you can do every day without fail. Make them so easy that you can't say no. Want to write a book? Start with 1 paragraph a day. Want to build a business? Make 1 sales call a day. Want to get in shape? Do 1 push-up a day. Momentum is a function of consistency over time. The smaller the action, the easier it is to be consistent. The easier it is to be consistent, the more likely you are to build momentum. And once you have momentum, you become unstoppable. 5 years from now, you'll arrive somewhere. The question is, will it be by design or by default? The quiet actions you take today multiplied by time will determine that destination. Choose wisely, act consistently, and watch the miracle of compound improvement transform your life. You see, what stops most people isn't their capability, it's their beliefs about their capability. Let's break through these barriers once and for all. Limiting beliefs, those silent saboteurs that hold you back. Here's what's fascinating. Most of your limiting beliefs aren't even yours, they're borrowed from parents, teachers, friends, society. I call these borrowed boundaries, and it's time to return them to their owners. A technique I use called the reality check method. Take your biggest limiting belief and ask yourself 3 questions. 1, who gave me this belief? 2, what evidence do I have that this is absolutely true? 3, what would be possible if this belief wasn't true? Now, about breaking through plateaus. Those frustrating periods where it seems like nothing you do produces results. Here's what the quiet achievers understand. Plateaus aren't stop signs. They're launching pads. They're your opportunity to reassess, realign, and break through to the next level. Call this the breakthrough formula. Change, challenge, consistent, breakthrough. When you hit a plateau, don't do more of what's not working. Do something different, make it challenging, and stick with it consistently. Let's address handling criticism, because this stops so many people from achieving their potential. Here's a powerful truth. Criticism is often a sign that you're making progress. The more impact you create, the more criticism you'll attract. I call this the critic's paradox. Remember this, not all criticism is created equal. Use what I call the source filter. Ask yourself, is this criticism coming from someone who has achieved what I want to achieve? If not, acknowledge it politely, but don't let it direct your actions. Staying focused in a world of endless distractions, the quiet achievers use what I call the North Star principle. They have one dominant goal that guides all their decisions. Everything either moves them toward that goal or away from it. This makes decision-making simple. Not always easy, but simple. Your key to maintain focus: create what I call success boundaries. These are non-negotiable limits that protect your time, energy, and attention. No phone until 10 a.m. No meetings on Mondays. No projects that don't align with your North Star goal. Every successful person you admire faced these same barriers. The difference isn't that they didn't have barriers. It's that they developed specific strategies to overcome them. Now you have these strategies too. Ends them. As we come to the end of our time together, I want you to realize something profound. Everything we've discussed today, every principle, every strategy, every insight is worthless without one crucial element. You're sitting at a crossroads right now. In this moment, you have a choice to make. You can do what most people will do, feel inspired for a few days, maybe take a few notes, then go back to business as usual. Or you can do something extraordinary. You can take the quiet path to massive success. Here's what I want you to do right now. Take out your phone, open your calendar, and schedule your power hour for tomorrow morning, just 1 hour. That's all it takes to begin. In that hour, you're going to do 3 things. First, write down your North Star goal, that one dominant objective that will drive everything else. Second, identify your first success trigger, that small, specific action you'll take every single day. Third, create your first time block for deep work, even if it's just 30 minutes. Imagine with me for a moment, 1 year from now, you're looking back at this day, you've implemented these principles consistently. You've taken the quiet path. You've focused on progress, not publicity. You've built momentum through small, consistent actions. You've mastered your inner game. You've broken through barriers that once seemed insurmountable. And most importantly, you've discovered what the quiet achievers have known all along. That true success isn't about making noise. It's about making impact. It's not about being seen. It's about creating value. It's not about instant results. It's about consistent growth. Remember this. The world is full of noise, but the real magic happens in the quiet moments. So you're doing the work, making the choices, and taking the actions that others aren't willing to take. Thank you.